guys, I'm Jacob. You're watching the Preppers Bunker Outdoors with Bladeshow 2021, and I've got something I'm excited to talk to you about here.
The PowerTac Destroyer.
PowerTac Destroyer, aptly named. No, but seriously, there's a line of knives here on the table. I'll talk about some of these specs here for a second, but I grew up maybe like you did with mag lights. My experience with mag lights growing up as a kid, like when I was 6 when I bought my first one, I saved up my money going lives, and my dad's like, "Should you want to buy a mag light?" Yes.
I think we all were like 6 or 8, the little one with the twist cap.
Oh no, I got
you got the big one.
Resale, yeah. And it to this day, it kind of sort of works, okay? But for years, beating on it as a kid, it worked. I used it in Obama Lakes looking at stuff. And I bought a mag light more recently. It does not work. It didn't work for more than like 2 days.
What are their LEDs?
Yeah. And so what I have been thinking, because I guess I wasn't looking too closely, is that nobody makes a big flashlight anymore that like seemed like it was quality. And I'm not 100% sure what my attraction to a big flashlight is, but like when I'm camping, like at the tent, I like to have a big flashlight. I like to be able to spot, light something. I feel like I have something substantial. If my kids go trick-or-treating by themselves, because the world still exists by that time, I'd like them to have a big flashlight. It's probably not gonna happen. But with all that being said, we've got them here. We've got some crazy specs. So, you know, what was the ideas behind these big doggone flashlights?
So, it's funny you mentioned the mag light stuff. The owner of our company is a very pro-military, pro-law enforcement guy, always looking to make stuff better. As a matter of fact, the first question he asked me when he asked me if I would come and do some work with the company was, hey, how can we make our product better? So, this is a light designed kind of thinking of the guys that had the old 3 cells, the 3Cs, something that you could hold on to, something that God forbid you had to use for any kind of hand-to-hand manipulations. It's got a lot of aggressive texturing. You mentioned that earlier.
I noticed that.
So
it sticks in your hand.
We don't want it to ever leave your hand, number one. We want it to work when you need it, number 2. And we want it to be simple. So the way we do it, you know, we talked about all the guys that have like different twists, features, different ways to turn it on, turn it off. It's a very simple, it's on, off, and then just a rotary switch with your thumb. Basically think of it as, we don't want your thumb to have to leave master control. So think of it like a safety. When you use safety, you know where to go every time. When you use our light and turn it on, most of the guys that are used to mag lights and things like that, they're used to that one button, okay? But the bigger lights, a lot of guys that run smaller lights, they love them. What you have to understand is not all lumens are kind of made equal. So you can have a small 4200 lumen output light, but think of it like your car. The reason your lights work so great on your car is because you've got this big reflector in the front. Okay? That's the same way on these bigger lights. When you've got a big reflector like that, if it's an orange peel looking reflector like this, it's going to give you a wide flood. If it's a smooth reflector, or if you take one like our Huntsman, you see the difference in the reflectors? Okay? When you've got that smooth reflector, it's going to throw the light because it's not really redirecting the light anywhere. So the bigger lights, what you're kind of looking for, way more runtime because you've got way bigger cells, okay? Number 2, you usually can pull the light more efficiently. And think of it, the bigger the head is, the more room you have for heat sinking, for dissipating it, for materials. So you have that with the bigger lights too. So camping, military, law enforcement, rescue community. We just had a guy come by recently we talked to. You know, he's a narcotics officer, but he said, by the time I need a flashlight, we're hunting someone. You know, we're looking in the woods, they're on foot, they're mobile, they're running. You can do a lot more with this than you probably could do with, you know, a small little pocket light. Right. So that's kind of the direction of the bigger stuff. We want people to be able to use it when they need to use it. We don't want it to leave your hand, we want it to work, you know.
And I don't want my kids to use my flashlight if I'm camping and break my doggone light. So it's got to be tough.
Very tough.
So,
very tough.
And I'm not a flashlight guy. I'm sure you know that there are flashlight guys.
Oh yeah.
And so like, I appreciate the simplicity. Like I want minimal buttons, I don't want to program a light, and if I do want to program a light, I don't want to be able to accidentally do it. So simple's better for me.
That's a good point you raised. I've never thought about accidentally programming it. I've never thought about that. That's a good point.
I've accidentally programmed my light. It works different now. So that's what I like about this. What I was about to say, oh yeah, do you have like a guarantee, like a specific guarantee that your flashlight won't explode in someone's mouth and blow their head off like an all light?
Guaranteed from finger to finger, bumper to bumper, as we say in law enforcement. We make everything from here to here. This is our product. There's a reason we test and research and design stuff. I can't speak to other companies. That sounds horrible, by the way. I hope they're okay. But that being said, I have used just about everything on this table for hours at a time. I can tell you that in a homeowners association community, the 10,500K destroyer, not super popular. My neighbors don't like it. At law enforcement where I work, I won't say the agency, they call that the sun.
Yeah.
Because at nighttime we'll be bored or we're actually doing something and I bring it out and show them. I've had that thing on for hours. That actually has a built-in fan. That's the one light here that really, really generates a lot of heat because of the amount of LEDs. So you can't really dissipate the energy or the heat. So what happens is we use a fan internally. Well, a lot of light companies, you know, you'll have that kind of output and they chase the lumens. They try and make it to where they have, you know, the buzzword of, you know, 5,000 lumens or 8,000 lumens, and the light will produce that amount of light for 30 seconds. Our lights don't do that. Our lights, if you look at on our packaging, you know, this light here, for example, it's 1,200 lumens for 2.8 hours. We know that because we're giving you the batteries, we're giving you the cells, we've run them, we've tested them. We're able to tell you the exact amount of time that if you turn it on and leave it there, it'll go. That light will kick down a little bit of light, but the fan will come on to keep it from doing things like that.
Right.
Anytime you blow up a light in someone's mouth or something like that, it's a bad day at the office. So we don't want to see that stuff happen.
So I want to mention really quick that I've got bite marks all over my personal flashlight because I hold it in my mouth like a headlamp.
I was just handling that flashlight for 5 minutes.
He was, yeah. I almost mentioned it to him, but
you didn't.
I didn't. So we're working on the story, not from him. Is some dude's working on his car, holding his flashlight in his mouth. It literally blew up, and killed him. So, yeah, he died. As far as I understand it. I don't know if I need to put a link in the description box below, but as I understand it, he died. So
didn't hear that.
My good flashlights.
Quality flashlights. We recommend PowerTac.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Hey.
I'm super stoked on the product.
Appreciate you, man.
I mean, if you're gonna be a flashlight guy, why would you not have a flashlight named the Destroyer?